There are currently 124 perks in Dead by Daylight, and despite playing this game religiously for over a year now, there are still perks I haven't even touched. It's easy to get overwhelmed with options, and the majority of players just stick to the perks they're comfortable with, including myself. So I decided I was gonna stream until I tried every single killer perk in Dead by Daylight. Let's do some quick math. There are currently 124 perks in the game, and you can only use a maximum of 4 perks per game. That means at a minimum, I'll have to play 31 games. Let's just say each game takes 15 minutes on average. With 0 hiccups, you're looking at 465 minutes of streaming, aka 7 hours and 45 minutes. If you watch any top streamer right now, they'll tell you streaming is an extremely difficult job, maybe even harder than a 9 to 5. Well, I have a 9 to 5 job, and I have a fiance who gets pissed if we miss an episode of Love is Blind. Because of this, my longest stream to date is about 4 hours. Taking on a venture like this would lock me in for double that. As a small streamer, talking to yourself for roughly 8 hours is enough to make anyone feel borderline schizophrenic, which is why I have a little trick up my sleeve. Quick, what do people want most in the world? You may have answered money, but surprisingly enough, you'd be wrong. The correct answer is actually free t-shirts. A free t-shirt at a sporting event is enough to make every single person and their grandma stand up with excitement. So I combine the two in a devious marketing manipulation tactic I like to call giving free money away to my viewers in order to trick people into watching my stream in exchange for money. What idiots, am I right? During my stream, I'm giving away $5 in Oryx cells every hour on the hour. I'm actually even using the exact same tactic in this video, spreading 3 Oryx cell giveaways throughout the video without you even knowing. You'll find the first giveaway after my first loss in the series, which won't come anytime soon because I started by using the most popular perks and continued my way down the list. If you've never been on the nightlight.gg website, I'd highly recommend it. This isn't some shameless advertisement, I just love the site because it gives you great statistics when it comes to perk pick rates, perk kill rates, and the best perk combinations. I'll just say this, the best perks are the best perks for a reason. I was getting win after win after win. Look, playing killer can be incredibly stressful because you feel like you have to be constantly dialed in. One failed chase can lead to multiple generators being completed. One missed hit could cost you the game. But when you're using the best perks in the game, it takes a lot of stress out of it. Not to say I didn't have close games or I didn't struggle at times, but some of the best perks in the game really give you a huge advantage. Gen regression perks will undo a good amount of progress on generators, buying you more time. Aura reading perks will give you information so you know exactly where survivors are on the map. Honestly, you'll have a pleasant experience with any of the top 20 most used perks. After streaming for an hour and a half, I finally had my first loss. And I didn't play bad per se, survivors were just really active on generators and my perks were starting to hold less value. I didn't expect it to happen so fast, but I was already starting to see a pretty big drop off in value of the perks. With 0 gen regression or aura reading, I got stomped pretty easily despite playing a solid game. And I have exactly 100 perks left to try, including Septic Touch. I love Septic Touch and you do too. Comment Septic Touch is a great perk. One random comment wins $10 in Oryx cells. Act fast because the next giveaway won't happen until we hit the deep end. To keep my energy levels high, I continued to down coffee after coffee, making sure there was at least 100 milligrams of caffeine in my bloodstream at all times. Coming up to the 3-hour mark of the stream, this is where I would typically stop. 3 hours of talking does a number on you. Your voice gets a little raspy, you start running out of things to say, you get a little mentally unstable. I ended up going on a 30-minute rant about how I love Chili's and go there all the time, but now TikTokers kind of blew up the spot, and the prices aren't even that cheap anymore. There's a 45-minute wait minimum, which kind of kills the whole reason Chili's is great in the first place. I was ranting about stupid topics, but it was mainly because the perks were getting mediocre as fuck. Perks 30 through 50 are all support perks. They may be good when paired up with other strong perks, but by themselves, these perks are nothing to write home about. It's pretty sad when the 42nd most used perk in the game, a perk that's basically in the top third of perks, shows you the aura of survivors standing by a locker when you open a locker. Such a trash perk when you have so many better options. Darkness Revealed is a dogshit perk, and I feel bad for singling it out, but I was not prepared for what happened next. I finally hit the deep end. Okay, picture this. You're 8 years old with your family at the neighborhood pool. You just finished up a ham sandwich and a stack of original Pringles and wait the mandated 30 minutes before getting into the pool. You scout out your options. You have the very familiar shallow end where you see other 8-year-olds splashing around, or you have the deep end. Nobody's in the deep end right now, but you saw one cool high school kid hit a double jackknife into the deep end about 2 hours ago, and it looked sick. You may think it would be cool to try out something new, something unknown, and jump into the deep end, but you'll go clutching for the pool ladder just as quickly as you jumped in. Why do I tell this story? Well, I was a terrible swimmer as a kid, and I wanted a healthy way to talk about my childhood trauma of almost drowning. But in Dead by Daylight, there's also a deep end. Once you hit perk 51, there's a huge drop off. You go from mediocre perks to dog shit in a matter of seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, these perks will provide little to no benefit to your game. They'll most likely just cause you more frustration and anger. It's not fun to drown. So comment "I can't swim" for another $10 or Excel giveaway. Only subscribers are eligible for this one, so make sure to hit the subscribe button as well. The final giveaway won't come until you least expect it, and it's a little harder to catch, so pay attention. Roughly 5 hours into the stream, I had surpassed my previous record of streaming, and my energy started to drop. Games became virtually unwinnable. 75 perks left to review, but at least the games were getting faster because I could put up less and less of a fight. A perk that lets you see the aura of downed survivors? Thanks, that's useless. A perk that allows you to recover from a missed swing while carrying a survivor? Yeah, that's not niche at all. A perk that blinds survivors when they stun you with the pallet? Okay, that could be wait, it's a hex perk. Trash. The worst thing that happened, I was randomly graced with a super solid build that actually had good aura reading synergy. I finally got a taste of the win column for a short second just to be relegated back to obscurity the next game. I did find some diamonds in the rough in the deep end. The twins perk, coup de grace, is perk 50 on the list, which is right on the cusp of the deep end. It allows you to lunge farther, and I was pretty shocked how low on the list this perk is for being so good. The singularity perk, machine learning, is perk 56, and it allows you to get 60 seconds of haste once a survivor completes a compromised generator, aka a generator you recently kicked. This perk will have you zooming around the map for what feels like forever. The Chucky perk, batteries included, is perk 61 on the list, and it will give you haste when you're around a completed generator. I really love this perk, and honestly, I feel like it's completely slept on by a good chunk of the community. And finally, the Xenomorph perk, one of my favorite perks in the game, the most slept on perk in my opinion. Perk 95 on the list, Alien Instinct. Alien Instinct will show you the aura of the farthest injured survivor once you hook a survivor, which sometimes can be right next to you if there's only one person injured. It's so slept on because there's other options like barbecue and chili available, but compared to all these other trash perks, there's no reason Alien Instinct should be this low on the list. But yes, there isn't much else to talk about at this point. 8 hours into my stream, I'd given away roughly $40 in Oryx cells, and I was starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was slowly getting closer and closer to the finish line, but these last few games would be some of my toughest yet. Let's lay the groundwork here. I went from using some of the best perks in the game, perks that do a lot of heavy lifting for you, perks that make survivors' lives absolute hell, while I still had my sanity intact, mind you, to being completely brain dead, playing with the most brain dead, most useless, most pointless, most enraging perks in the game. Look, my final game consisted of Hoarder, which gives you a noise notification when someone drops an item or opens a chest, Shattered Hope, which destroys a boon totem instead of snuffing it, Hangman's Trick, which allows you to see the auras of survivors near scourge hooks when carrying a survivor, and finally Septic Touch, which makes survivors blind and exhausted when healing inside your terror radius. This build is complete trash, but it's almost poetic. My first ever video to pop off was none other than a video about Septic Touch. It's still my most viewed video to date, and in a way, I'm not sure if I'd be making this video today if it wasn't for Septic Touch. So I made it my mission, after 9 whole hours of streaming, after $45 given away, after 7 cups of coffee, if there's one thing I had to do, it was win my final game. So I decided to lock the fuck in. The game had to give us Eyrie of Crows, which is one of my least favorite maps as killer. Despite getting some early hooks, gens were popping, and I was starting to worry if I had already let the game get away from me. I was ending chases in a good amount of time, but with nothing to regress generators other than my kicks, it was starting to feel like an impossible task. Like I expected, my perks provided absolutely zero value, and I didn't get my first kill until all the generators were completed. So that was it. GG's. I tried my best, but it wasn't in the card. My entire series, all the hard work, all the stupid perks, why did it have to end on a bad note? Nice, got a hit. Everyone's injured at least. Nice dead hard. Oh. It makes no sense. I got a body block. Oh, he had life. Wow, we get a win in our last game. 9-hour stream. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Well, that was an amazing ending. You really can't make this shit up. By the grace of God, I actually got a victory in my final game. 124 perks, $45, and a win to close it all out. Did I learn anything from this challenge? Yeah. The developers wasted a lot of time on some dumb perks. The top 20 killer perks are amazing. 20 through 50 are mediocre for the most part. And perks 50 through 124 are absolutely brutal. I also learned I may never want to do a challenge like this ever again. That is, unless this video hits 50,000 views, which would beat my septic touch video, shout out. Then I'll try every survivor perk in the game in one stream. But make sure to follow me at twitch.tv/SouthLoopStrats in order to watch my misery live, because to be honest, I'm not sure if I could have done it without everyone who joined live. So for those who stopped in, I appreciate you. I'm gonna be ranking all the killer perks I tried, so if that video is live, I'll put it right here. If not, enjoy this playlist where I master every killer in Dead by Daylight.